of the soul. Many of us have gone through the dark night of the soul. I'm going to tell you in this podcast how you can survive it and come out of the other side full of light. I don't want you to exaggerate what that meaning of full of light is, because many of us believe that it is the exact opposite of darkness and despair. You see, when we're in the dark night of the soul, it lasts for months, sometimes years. It's crippling, stagnant, non-vibrational, and painful. Always there is something that triggers it. It brings out the shadows, the holes, and the disbeliefs that are deep within our human self. Our soul is trapped and encased in this, and it wants out. It is light. It is not comfortable with that deep darkness. There's not a glimmer or a flicker. It's dark. Some are deeper in darkness than others. Some of us are able to see glimpses of light through the dark night of the soul. However, there are many who can never see the light. You see, the dark night of the soul does not mean that your soul is dark. It means that the soul is in darkness. Again, encapsulated by its human self, its human environment, its resistance, perception, and view. So what do we do when we are in this dark night of the soul? As I said, you will find the light, but it won't be exact opposite. For if it was the exact opposite of deep darkness, it would be blinding light, unbearable, so bright and encompassing that you would not be able to see. We don't want that. We want something that lies somewhere in between, a soft, glowing, calm light, enough to make all the colors bright, and the ability for you to see where you're going. It clearly gives you direction only because you can see all of the different ways that you can go. All the forks in the road, the complete map and terrain. You see, you are the creator. The path is not laid out before you. When we are awake, aware, when we can see, when the shadows are gone, when we believe, when there are no blocks or barriers, emotionally, psychologically, or intellectually, then you have the ability to see the entire map, the entire territory. In fact, you create that map as you go along, and therefore you make choices. And whether those choices are good or bad, right or wrong, it allows you to make more choices. And that is growth. Now, how do you manipulate your way out of the dark night of the soul? Use the word manipulate because you are manually creating a shift and a change. You see, many of us wait for it to just happen. But if you manipulate it, then it will happen in time. Time is a human construct. The time period may humanly seem very long for some. And honestly, when you're in the dark night of the soul, whether it's a few weeks or a few months, it's all just too long, isn't it? So how do we manipulate our way out of the dark night of the soul? This one may be hard to understand, and that is to no longer be in victim mode. You're not a victim. If in the very least you may be a victim of circumstance, and those circumstances may very well be extremely mean people or extreme circumstances such as an accident or physical or mental, intellectual, emotional disability, disability, disabled temporarily. So therefore, as many moments in a day as you can, you tell yourself you are not a victim. This is not happening to you. It is happening for you. And you don't have the answer quite yet why, or what, or how. But for certain you know that you are not a victim. And that you are not disabled. Every day and every moment that you can, even if you have to write it down every night and every morning, meditate on it, speak it out loud, have it visually written around your home. Just keep reminding yourself. Now for myself, what I do is I listen to podcast after podcast after podcast. One of my favorites is The Law of One, or the explanation of the Law of One by Aaron Abke. I will put that down in the credits below. And there was one particular podcast that talked very much about victimhood. I deal with this a lot when I work in sessions with my clients. And in those sessions, the one component of the 7 modalities that I have in astrology is to look where Neptune is in the chart. Of course, in mine, Neptune squares the moon. Now you can just imagine a square is not a pleasant aspect. There's rough corners, rough terrain. So Neptune is a wonderful, beautiful planet when you want to use its energy for music, art, creativity, the unimaginable, to manipulate, again, take control over creation as it uses you and your soul and your human body as an energy force in order to manifest creation. Neptune is our psychic ability, our dream state, daydreams and night dreams. It is where I find the healers, the believers, the magicians, the fairies. It's the etheric world, the energy field. That's what Neptune represents. Think of Neptune planets. I know this can be confusing for many. Neptune can also represent confusion when it's hard aspected. But imagine that you're looking at a woman and she's just wearing a normal pair of pants and a sweater. And then she walks into a room and comes out wearing a uniform. She's wearing the uniform of a police officer. Now when you look at her, you know much more about her. Not everything, but you know, she is a police officer. This is what her day must be and what she has accomplished. She represents the law, some type of a force, maybe safety, comfort, protection. And so each planet has its outfit that it represents. When I see Neptune difficult in a chart, I know there's abandonment in childhood, and also that they have abandoned themselves. And whenever I see that, there is a victim mentality. I am a victim. In my case, I am victim to my emotions. In someone else, I am victim to love. In someone else, I am victim to actions of others. I am victim to my childhood. I am victim to my fear of authority. I am victim to my mind, imprisoned by every thought. Of course, people would say, well, it's there in the astrological chart, so how can it be any different? Well, you see, we have many, many strengths. If someone loses a leg or an arm or is born without a limb, they have a choice to use other parts, overuse other parts of their bodies to make up for it. You've seen people without arms and they're painting and eating and cooking and dressing with their feet, with their toes, with their feet, as easily as we are with our arms. And that's the same thing with your personality. You can find the strengths. And most people have a deep, deep strength in somewhere else in their chart that can help support that very small part of you that at times can become very big in the dark night of the soul. And to help you get out of that darkness and learn the lesson that needs to be learned. And in most cases, what needs to be learned is letting go, dissolving, destroying limiting beliefs. As that person who has no limbs can have a limiting belief that there is nothing they can do about it. They will forever be in circumstances where they cannot do things that other people can do who do have their arms and their hands. Or they can find another way. And many do, right? So you are not victim. You are not a victim. You are light. Not extreme light, just enough light to get around. And with every dark night of the soul comes a gift. A pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I love it when I can show my clients this in session. Something to aim for, something to work towards. We have what's called soul muscle. And the intelligent soul knows that this muscle can be worked on every single day. For some people, they don't go to the gym where everybody can see them. Some people, it's in silence, behind the scenes, in privacy. And it takes time because lifting the weight of what the circumstances are around that abandonment can be very, very heavy and may take several attempts for many people. Do not judge those, because their perseverance, their dedication, off and on, in and out, over and over and over again, just going back and trying to lift that heavy weight, even though there's dark nights of the soul in between each attempt, is just as strong, if not stronger, than the ones who are able to lift it within a few moments, a few days. Do not judge yourself. Do not judge yourself. You are not victim. You are not a victim. You are a soul simply trying to remember that you are light. Namaste.